My father said, anything you're making with fire is fun. I'm Trent Mulloy, president of Laurel Machine Foundry. We got two locations. We've got one of our original location, which is 810 Front Street in Laurel. Then back in the late 80s, early 90s, we opened Hawks Industrial Park, which is just north of town, and that's where our foundry is. It's about 50,000 plus square feet in one building, and then we've got our CNC machining facility, which is about 30,000 square feet. We're a jobbing shop, so we don't have a product or widget. We do contract manufacturing or repair work for a wide base of companies. A lot of them are located in Mississippi. A lot of them are not, because once again, there's not a whole lot of foundries. We do so many different things. That's why we're still here talking today. We're not just a fabrication facility or a machining facility or a foundry or a metal service center. We do all those things. So that has helped us, divest into all these different markets over the years. I am fourth generation. It's been in my family since 1911. I've got a 17-year-old who thinks he wants to be fifth generation. So after he goes to college and goes and works in the real world for a couple of years, we'll see. Laurel Machine Foundry was actually started in 1904 as the Lindsey Wagon Company. So if you're ever out at the Ag Museum in Jackson, you can actually see one of the original Lindsey wagons. And the Lindsey wagon revolutionized the logging industry.
My name is Sarah Pear, and I'm the Director of Collections here at the Mississippi Agriculture and Forestry Museum. So the Lindsey wagon was first patented in 1899 by John and Sam Lindsay, and prior to that they were using smaller wagons and caralogs, which is kind of like a half wagon that you attach a log to, and a go devil, which is a really small caralog, used for only about a quarter of a mile or so. The wagons and the caralogs, they couldn't really go over marshy ground or rough ground without a whole lot of effort by the mules and the oxen that were trying to get them through the terrain. So what the Lindsey wagon did, it spreads out the load. It's got 8 wheels instead of 4, and the wheels are much wider. The Lindsey wagon is actually kind of a precursor to modern 18-wheelers or tractor trucks. It enabled just the whole timber industry to go further away from the lines of transportation, further away from the rivers, further away from the railroad tracks and the rail stations. And they were able to harvest more timber because of that.
The Lindsays had started Laurel Machine Foundry to feed the Lindsey Wagon Company parts. And for whatever reason, they decided that they did not need that facility anymore. My great-great-grandfather, great-uncle bought it in 1911. My great-grandfather was president until 1917 when he passed away. Then my great-uncle was president from 1917 to 1985. The thing is, we're not a corporate structure. We're locally owned and operated. My door is always open if you need to. If an employee needs to come talk something, I see these people more than I see my family. I mean, that's how that is.
Jerry Hinton, operation manager for Laurel Machine Foundry. I've been here. May was 45 years. To be honest with you, it's meant the world to me because I don't know where I could have went and had any better people. When my wife got down sick with cancer, I had freedom to take off to help her. They're family oriented first, and it's meant the world to me. After my wife passed away, I wanted my son to either go back to college because he took online college, finished it up to help take care of her today, and I took care of her at night. And after 2 months, after she passed away, I told him it was time to go back to school to go to work. And I told him I wanted him to go to college, and he said, I don't want to go back to school. And I said, okay, you're going to work. So if I didn't love the place, I wouldn't have brought my son in here to try for him to build a career off of.
We have a little bit different atmosphere than some of the bigger, say publicly traded companies or really large, facilities. And I think that lends itself to a different work environment. And we get to do some really cool stuff. I think one of the best projects or most fun projects we've done is that we got to build the frame for a magnetic rail gun that the U.S. Navy was prototyping. They were designing to go on the ships. And you'll see this huge gun shooting this 4-foot projectile with electromagnetic pulse, like 100 miles. And on front of that, you'll see LMF's logo in front of that rail gun. That was a big job. And once again, my guys they lost their minds. It was so cool. As interesting as all this automation in the world gets, it's all great until a line goes down. If a pulp mill that runs 24/7, and it doesn't matter how automated that line is, when they break a 4-inch shaft that's 9 foot long at 3 o'clock in the morning, the entire plant shut down, and they called us, and we're like, bring it, we'll fix that one, we'll make you a new one, and we'll make you a spare. And so in my mind, there will always be a place for somebody like us. There's going to have to be support for that automation, and I think that's why we should have a very good outlook for another 117 plus years.